Welcome to the Data Center Cooling by ktGroup and an overview of what we can offer you in ktGroup to meet your needs for your data center cooling. So by way of introduction, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Carl Rose. I'm 50 years old. I'm married to Kelly. We have one daughter, Erin, who is 13. I'm a bit of a sports junkie, so if I'm not chasing a little white ball round a field, I'm racing around the streets on a push bike, as I race push bikes as well as a pastime. Business-wise, I've been with ktGroup for 27 years. I started my career just after I completed my mechanical apprenticeship, and I started a position within ktGroup as a draftsman on the drawing board. And I've had 6 positions through the business, working my way through from that drawing board into our contracts division, through our contracts division, into our junior sales division, design within our sales division, and then through to position that I hold today within the company, which is the regional sales manager for the close control team. So that's a brief overview of myself. So data and data centers. So how do we use data and data centers? Well, it's surprising how we do use it. We use it pretty much 24/7, and that's every single individual. So that might go from when you wake up in the morning, you'll tell your alarm clock to stop or to stop ringing, and that is most probably nowadays some serviced alarm clock that's hooked up to the internet in some way. We will then, first thing we do is usually check the internet, check either our Facebook pages or the news to see what's going on via our mobile phone. That's using data. We will then most probably tell our smart device either to play our favorite radio station, or if we're very flash, we might even tell it to turn on the house lights and pop in the toast into the toaster. Then we could most probably download our favorite streaming service, and we might catch up on the film we didn't quite finish watching last night because we were too tired. Or we just might prepare ourselves and download a couple of episodes of our favorite series ready to watch in forthcoming evening. Again, all using data. We then venture out of the house. We'll then check or plan our route via our favorite map service. We'll check what the traffic is doing. Again, all using data. We'll then drive to work, and we'll be picked up by the speed cameras. We'll be picked up by the average speed cameras. We'll be picked up by traffic cameras. All again, using data. We then get to the building. We swipe into the building that we work at. If we're fortunate enough to be going into the buildings we work at the moment, again, that's recorded somewhere. That's using data. That will go onto a server that's been kept data. And then finally, we'll switch on our PC and sit at our desks. And we all tend to have individual PCs, laptops these days. And then we'll all hook into our own corporate networks, our VPNs, surf the internet, look at various data, all using data again. And in that process, while we're at work, we're using data all day. And then that is a complete reverse process on the way home. So on the way home, we'd scan out the building, caught by the cameras, use our map service, get ready to watch that film that we've pre-downloaded. So you can see we use a lot of data as human beings all day long, 24/7. Well, what is a data center? Well, you wouldn't really know a data center. There's not big signs outside saying it's a data center. This is a typical sort of data center. It's just sort of a grey building without any signage outside the front of it that's on an industrial park somewhere. Tends to have a load of security lights around it. But apart from that, you wouldn't really know what was going on there. You might drive past one every single day. But they are big buildings, huge buildings, sizes of football pitches and football stadiums. But what's inside one of these data centers? Well, inside one of these data centers are rows and rows of servers. And these servers are the pieces of equipment that analyze and deal with all the data that we're dealing with. That'll be our latest post, our update on our web page, our last like on our Instagram accounts that we follow. And that data is all processed within these buildings by these servers. And these servers within these buildings give off tremendous amounts of heat. So while they're working away, they are generating heat and consuming electric. And that electric consumption then gets turned into heat. And that heat's got to get dissipated somewhere. So how do we do that? These are very secure sites. You just can't open the door and let in the outside air and hopefully cool down these rooms. They need to be mechanically cooled somehow. And within Flat Group, we have a lot of products that enable us to do that. But these data centers, are there different types? Are they all the same? Do they all look like that picture I've just shown you? Not really. They're sort of broken down into 4 sort of areas, data centers. We start with the small telecoms or edge facilities, as they are called. And you see some of these dotted around the countryside now. A lot of the mobile phone technology is done through sort of edge facilities. These are little cabins on the side of the hills that you see in the countryside with a mast next to them. And these sort of buildings have up to sort of about 100 kilowatts of maybe cooling required within them. Then you move up into sort of your IT server rooms. These are stuff that will be located in the building itself. So in the same premise that you might be working in, your local councils might have these IT server rooms contained within there, which are doing all the council services. Your banks will have these, the larger offices, and your sort of your media companies will have these type of IT server rooms that are on premise, and they go up to sort of 500 kilowatts. Then you start getting into these sort of purpose-built data centers that I showed you earlier. So these are the medium to large data centers. These will be off-site data centers away from the business, and it's like your cloud services. So again, the larger bank organizations might use these. Co-location sites, well, these where someone will build a data center and they'll have 2, 3, 4, 20 clients all using the same site, dialing in to this co-location site. And then you get the hyperscale data centers. These are the huge data centers that are made by people like Microsoft, Facebook, and Amazon. And these are huge ones that you see on the news in the middle of the deserts. And those go up to sort of 1 megawatt of cooling required and upwards. So those are the sort of 4 types of data center that you see located around the world. So how can we help you with those data centers? Well, we have the hyperscale and large data centers. So those are the ones, 1 megawatt and above, or 500 to a megawatt. Those are usually purpose-built facilities, and we can deploy some of our equipment into that. We have a range of chillers that go from 4 kilowatts up to 1700 kilowatts. They're suitable for outdoor locations. Those have scroll and shell and tube inverter-driven technology within them. These also have built-in pump sets to be able to push the water around the system. And so we can use these chillers to hook up to whatever cooling process is maybe within these hyperscale and large data centers. We can also use our Adia Denko product. This is the evaporative cooling product from the range within Flat Group. These come up to box sizes of 400 kilowatts. You can have a top-up DX chilled water heat exchanger in them, but the principle is that these units don't actually need any cooling or mechanical cooling. This is all done by evaporative cooling. So these are used in those hyperscale and large data centers where they've got some form of aisle containment and they're capturing either the hot or cold air, enabling us to use elevated temperatures onto these air handling units, and then use the evaporative cooling process to be able to lower that temperature and distribute that back into the room at the designated temperature that we want. So those are the types of products we can deploy for the hyperscale and large data centers. When you sort of slide down the scale, really, and then you have your edge and your medium-sized data centers, so that's anything from sort of your 10 kilowatts, if you like, up to 500 kilowatts. We have a couple of various different products that you can fit in there. The most common product that's deployed into those sort of facilities is the multi-Denko product. This product has heat rejection via direct expansion, chilled water, or we do a free cooling product where we actually use an indirect free cooling circuit, a glycol circuit, to take advantages of the cold winter temperatures within the UK, driving down that glycol water temperature, enabling us to switch off the direct expansion system, which is the most expensive system to run within a multi-Denko unit, and utilize that free cooling that we have available. So these units come in upflow or downflow orientation from 10 to 130 kilowatts. And obviously we've got standard controls fitted to them as standard. And you can see down there in the bottom right-hand corner, on the direct expansion systems, you would have this hooked up to an external condenser. On the chilled water systems, they can be hooked up to one of our chillers or to an existing chilled water circuit that you may have on site. So that's the multi-Denko close control system. Another product we can deploy into these edge and medium-sized data centers is the Ultra Denko. Now, the Ultra Denko comes up into a sort of from 50 to 200 kilowatts, and that's available just in chilled water. The difference between the multi-Denko and the Ultra Denko is what we do here is we take the fan deck out of the indoor unit, if you like, and put it into the raised modular floor and push these below the actual frame of the unit. What that allows us to do, it allows us to have a larger evaporator coil within the indoor unit, enabling us to get bigger cooling capacities for a smaller footprint. So that works very well when you're trying to push this into an existing data facilities and you might be tight on space on site. And so that can help you then with your planning and laying out of your data rooms. So what else do we have available for the edge and medium-sized data centers? Well, the last sort of product for us within this type of data center arena is the Row Denko product. Now, these products are very good if you need spot cooling or you need something to sit within the aisle of your existing racks that you have on your site. These units are designed to go into a rack and have warm, dry air come onto the back of the units and distribute the conditioned air out of the front of the units. These slot in between your standard sort of 600 by 600 racks, and these are 600 by 300. So sort of, these are 1000 by 300. So they're sort of 1000 deep, 300 millimeters wide. These can be, again, in either direct expansion or chilled water, and they range from sort of 10 to 30 kilowatts. Again, complete with their own controls, very similar to the multi-Denko product, as they're hooked up to an external condensing unit, or we can hook them up to an existing chiller if you have the chilled water available on site. There are various adaptations you can do of this product where we can put louvers on the front of it to turn the air through 90 degrees left or right, or discharge it straight out the front. So that's a very quick and brief overview of the products available from ktGroup for your data centers. If you do require any other information, please do not hesitate to contact me, or alternatively, jump onto our YouTube page and have a look at the fantastic videos that we have available showing you how the ADIA Denko product works, how the multi-Denko product works. It'll give you a great overview of how the close control systems work within a data center. So thank you for your attention, and please do not hesitate to visit us at our website, www.ktgroup.com.